Nature has crafted nearly 9 million animal species so far, yet every so often a new species is brought into the world, one that is stronger, fitter, and better adapted to the environment than its predecessor, a hybrid. Animal hybrids take characteristics of two different species to become a more powerful creature. Sometimes, hybrids are created with influence from humans. Other times, wild animals will create these new critters on their own accord. Today, we're going to look at mighty hybrids and see how they compare to their parents. We're also going to examine just how valuable these incredible beasts can be. So let's get started. The Belgian Blue is known for being a massive, bulky cow. The Belgian Blue has twice as many muscle fibers than normal cattle. This is called double muscling. The Belgian Blue has a mutation in its genes that contribute to its massive size and strength. This mutation also affects fat distribution for the cattle, making the breed incredibly lean. These behemoths are believed to be a hybrid between the Shorthorn and the Charolais cattle. The weight of a Belgian Blue bull can be as much as 2,800 pounds, with a cow around 1,990 pounds. When the cows are pregnant, they'll often need to undergo a cesarean section as the calf is usually too big to be delivered naturally. Since the hybrid is rare in the US, prices can vary. However, the cost of a Belgian Blue tends to go for around $3,000 to $4,000 online. The average cost of the cow per kilogram is often around $3. For comparison, the average cost in the US for a standard beef cow is $2,800, while the cost for a standard dairy cow is between $900 and $3,000. Wolf dogs are exactly what they sound like. They're wolves that have been bred with various domestic dogs. The most common dog breeds used are German Shepherds and the Alaskan Malamute. The general consensus is that wolf dogs are aggressive. However, wolf dog owners dispute this. Due to the mix of a naturally wild species and a domestic one, the temperament of the wolf dog is difficult to predict. A number of years ago, the population of wolf dogs in the US was estimated at around 300,000. There seems to be a large increase once Game of Thrones became ultra-popular. With wolves having a stronger bite strength than dogs, the hybrid is said to be significantly stronger than the average domesticated dog. Due to their assumed nature, not many states allow the sale of the hybrid in the US. However, in the states that do allow it, the cost of a wolf dog puppy can be as much as $5,000 from a breeder. For comparison, the average cost of breeder-bought dogs is between $400 to $2,000 depending on breed and pedigree. A wolf dog owner in London has stated that their hybrid hounds cost them around £1,000 or around $1,250 per month. South Florida has recently seen an influx of invasive pythons. In the 1980s, many Burmese pythons were released into the wild from exotic pet owners. Recently, scientists did some tests on tissue samples from the pythons in the Everglades. They found that 13 of the snakes had genetic signatures from the Indian python as well, meaning some of the pythons are actually hybrids. Indian pythons are smaller, faster, and considered more aggressive. They thrive up high and on land, while Burmese pythons enjoy the water, making these snakes a threat with so many diverse characteristics. The cost of removing Burmese pythons in the Everglades is huge. Between 2005 and 2012, $6 million was spent on finding a way to manage the snakes. In 2013, scientists captured the male snakes. They fitted them with a transmitter and released them. The males would lead the researchers to the females who can create a huge number of eggs. One female was found with 73 eggs. The current costs of adding these receivers is around $250 per snake. When they needed a helicopter to aid in tracking, the price shot up to $11,000 per python. The Savannah cat is the largest domestic cat breed in the world. They are a cross between a domestic cat and a serval, a wild African species. Most Savannahs can weigh between 15 to 20 pounds. However, there are some that go beyond 25 pounds. Savannahs are about 2.5 times bigger than the average cat. The Savannah is strong and can even jump 8 feet into the air from a standing position. The birth of this species happened in 1986. Judy Frank bred a female Siamese cat with a male serval. The cost of owning these cats vary widely, with estimations coming from $1,000 to $20,000. The reason is due to its status, such as F1, F2, and so on. The status refers to how far removed they are from their nearest serval ancestor. For example, an F1 Savannah cat will be the very first generation of the hybrid. This gives the kitten 50% serval DNA. Due to how difficult it is to breed an F1, the price shoots up. The cost of owning a serval to breed with is around $5,000. With further costs such as permits, this explains the high price of owning a Savannah cat. The name of Zo refers to the hybrid and the males, while the female Zos are called Zomo. This amazing hybrid is a combination of yak and domestic cattle. They are commonly found in Tibet and Mongolia. Dzos can reach 5.5 feet in height and up to 1,300 pounds in weight. They're more agile and steady on their feet than a yak. As a result, they can manage mountain terrain with ease. Its main purpose is to carry heavy loads across mountains and to aid in hiking expeditions to Mount Everest. Dzo are very strong and are able to carry around 300 pounds of weight. This hybrid isn't in the US. As a result, we can only speculate on the cost. While yaks can be sold for between $750 and $20,000 depending on the exact breed. As we mentioned earlier, domestic cattle can be from $800 to $3,000. If we say it's the most expensive of both, that's 23 grand. Now, with the effort and time of breeding, let's add another 5,000. So, our rough estimate is that the first US Dzo could cost $28,000. That's not taking into account vet bills, feeding, and other such fees. Saltwater crocodiles can be as large as 20 feet long. Siamese crocs can be 13 feet. With that in mind, having a hybrid of the two is going to be a big beast, especially with saltwater crocs having a bite force of 16,460 newtons. For comparison, lions are around 4,450 newtons. One of the hybrids of a saltwater and a Siamese crocodile is Jiao Yai. He was hatched in 1972 and lives in Thailand's Samut Prakan Crocodile Farm and Zoo. The zoo claims that Yai is the biggest croc in captivity, with a length of 20 feet and a weight of 2,456 pounds. However, the Guinness Book of World Records currently doesn't recognize this feat. Since this saltwater Siamese hybrid is incredibly rare, it's unlikely you'll be able to own one of these beasts yourself, especially as many states in the US don't allow people owning crocodiles as pets. In 2014, South Africa had its first ever live crocodile auction, with some of the beasts going for as much as $1,100 depending on size, with South Africa generating a yearly estimated income of between $20 million to $25 million on crocodile sales. This includes both live crocs and the sale of their skin. While the more famous equestrian hybrid mules are made with a male donkey and a female horse, the hinny is the opposite. They're the offspring of a male horse, a stallion, and a female donkey, a jenny. The average hinny usually has a smaller stature, shorter ears, stronger legs, more stamina, and a thicker mane than the average mule. Hinnies tend to take after the behavior of their donkey mothers, while mules act like their horse mothers. Hinnies eat a wider variety of plants than mules. This means they can live in regions where vegetation is sparse. Hinnies are difficult to breed because of the differences in the number of chromosomes of the horse and the donkey. This makes hinnies sterile. As a result, breeders in the US tend to shy away from this unique hybrid. Instead, hinnies tend to be on ranches in South America. With that in mind, the cost of a mule in the US is between $1,000 to $8,000. On average, a mule costs around $100 to $150 a month to feed. Hinnies would require a similar figure. However, while it's rare, when hinnies are sold online, they tend to go for between $400 and $800 in the US. Iron Age pigs just sound magical, yet they're actually a hybrid of wild boars and domestic pigs. Quite often, the domesticated pig is the Tamworth breed. This hybrid is fairly common in the wild, yet the reason for them to be bred intentionally is to create pigs that resemble the swine in prehistoric artworks of the Iron Age and earlier periods. In many cases, the domestic pig traits disappear entirely in as few as 3 generations as the wild genetics dominate. The other reason for producing the Iron Age pig is due to its meat. It's said to closely resemble the gamey wild boar. Iron Age pigs are fairly common on UK farms. As such, the price in the country is fairly low on purchasing your own throwback pig. Some sellers have the cost at around £200 or around $250 per pig. But if you want to start your own Iron Age pig breeding farm, the cost of purchasing a wild boar can be around £350 or $440 per boar. The Tamworth breed can be bought for around £280 or $350 each. The iguana hybrid is due to breeding between a male marine iguana and a female land iguana on the South Plaza Island in the Galapagos Islands. The first iguana hybrid was discovered in 1981. They have the characteristics of both water-based and land-based iguanas, which allows hybrid iguanas to survive in both environments. However, there are very little of the hybrids about. Due to both the marine and land iguanas being largely separated, Overlapping doesn't happen too often. Land iguanas can be up to 5 feet in length from tail to snout, while marine iguanas can be up to 2.7 feet. The hybrids are around 3.1 feet. Due to their rarity, the hybrids aren't available for purchase. Only 6 are believed to be around today. The circumstances to create the hybrids need to be very particular, but you could take a trip to see them in the flesh. On average, a trip to the Galapagos costs around $772 per person for a week, but can cost nearly $1,900 for those wanting a more luxurious vacation. A day trip to the South Plaza Island can cost around $290 per person. In 2012, scientists in Australia discovered that the Australian blacktip shark and common blacktip shark species had been secretly breeding, creating a brand new hybrid species. Yet little is known about these creatures. The Australian species can reach lengths of 5.9 feet, while the common blacktips can reach 4.9 feet. The common species can produce a bite force of 1,083 newtons. Scientists believe the common blacktip is the cause of most shark attacks in Florida's oceans. It's actually legal to own some sharks in the U.S. Some species like great whites are protected and illegal to own. Since the blacktip species are massive, people don't tend to purchase those beasts for their home tanks. The rich have started a trend of owning sharks. Just for the aquarium alone, it can cost between $15,000 to $1 million, depending on the size of the tank. Reality TV star Monique Samuels, who owns 2 small sharks, says she spends between $1,600 to $2,000 each month just to feed them. So how much would it cost to feed a hybrid blacktail? Pop your estimations in the comments below. And that's it. Which of these hybrids have you seen in person? Do you own any? Type out your great thoughts below. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. All of those actions really help us out. Finally, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.